Yeah, and I think a lot of it is going to be building on awareness of what these things can do, not only initially. If you're striving to get a college scholarship, you're not going to get one if you're on the sidelines with a torn ACL and then
Yep.
another torn ACL after that. That's a good way to kind of show that. But the long term, and I don't think we have a lot of long-term research right now because this hyper-specialization within youth sports is relatively new. Across all sports, I'm sure we could look at hyper-specialization within gymnasts and dancers and kind of show what are they looking like 20, 30 years down the road. I think we kind of have to balance out, increase the awareness, but only also give opportunity to improve while still participating where they need to, and kind of give options to bridge the gap from dysfunction to function.
Right. And just to sort of give some ideas of how some of these pro athletes are building in the rest and recovery. Essentially it's when they start to skip out on the beginning camps and the mini camps, a game here and there. I know in baseball now they have scheduled rests. I know in football now they're starting to actually get to the point of where they're like, all right, we want to do 18 games, but we're going to max out how many games each player can play. So definitely things being done on the forefront, but on the professional level, they're only really affecting the top 1%. So we need to start affecting the masses and how we do things.
So it's going to be a difficult one, and it's going to be a lot of awareness and choice and what's offered out there. If your only offerings are AAU and your team goes 12 months a year, your son or daughter is not going to participate if they say, well, I'm going to take a 3-month window off to rest and recover and things like that. That coach is going to say, cool, we're going to replace you with somebody that's committed in our eyes, and you're not going to have a spot here anymore. So there definitely needs to be options available for these youth athletes to build up leagues and calendars that allow for rest, allow for despecialization and going into other sports.
Yeah, so I think one of the main things we want to encourage is conversation about this topic, because we're experts in our fields, but this is a subsection of our field that we want to develop more. And really it's going to be where we get we need the voice of the consumer, like the parents, the kids, what's realistic. And then we can help to build something along that line of how we can do this. Because, generally it's the consumer that drives where the market goes. And right now the consumer is at a dead end, and we need to know where we need to go with this in the prevention sense of things.
Absolutely. And I think circling back to the youth sports business and kind of that's growing to 60 billion, we know that the high school calendar they are limited in how much time they can spend in a calendar year, when they can start, how long these seasons are, and everything like that. And that needs to be built out to the competition calendars for these private clubs and private sports. And we really need to educate on consumers and parents and athletes and coaches, if whoever is willing to listen, hey, just because you think specialization is necessary and everything like that, certain skill specialization, absolutely, we definitely need it. Competition hyper specialization and things like that, it's not proving to be necessary at all for your athlete, for your son and daughter. And we need to break up these calendars to promote rest, recovery, normal growth of the human body.
Right. I mean, the way I've always said it to all my athletes is, hey, if you're good enough, the professional level will find you. I mean, they're very good at finding talent. And if you have the willpower to keep pushing through, sometimes that helps as well. But this whole drive of, what's your end goal is the question. And if it's just to play the sport, then you need to, help yourself out and protect your body so you can live a healthy life.